All right. Hopefully this time my lecture I'm sorry, will be recorded properly. So let's go to our selection and retrieval phase. Is this being recorded well? Okay, that is recorded well. As I make on the line here, this select name, email, phone. The select clause contains a list of columns that you want to create. As I said, SQL statements itself is nothing but a table. It doesn't matter if you have a complex SQL statements where there are multiple sets are connected, and it doesn't matter it has nested SQL statements. One SQL statement contains another, and which contains another and another. Very, very complicated SQL expression is also possible, but bottom line is this: SQL statements, doesn't matter how complex it is, returns one table. If you have one SQL statements, then it returns one table. The table contains, look at this statement, it has 3 columns. Okay? And after the from closure, you might have a list of tables. In this case, we have only one table. But you could have multiple tables. If you have multiple tables, then all those tables are joined. Tables are joined. There's a multiple ways of join operation, but anyway, they can join. So we want. So this returns a table. Table has a multiple columns and multiple rows. If I want to access one row at a time, then I need to have a fetch one method from that cursor. So user1, this variable holds the first row, first records of that returning table. Returning table is nothing but the SQL statements. If I want to access first column of the first row, then that is this. At the same time, we could do, I want to fetch all, not one record at a time, but I want to hold all the records. Olivia, your name is recorded. Okay. Is it still recorded here? Oh, very nicely. Okay, fetch all. This is a method so that all entire table is now printed by this variable, all rows. And then look at this Python statements. For row in all rows, which is entire table. So these statements will do for each rows in that table. I want to print in this format. Prints, I have 3 columns, and first and second I have delimiter colon, 3 columns with the colon and then comma, and these 3 variables are plugged in from row the index 1 and then second index and third index. Alright? So with this in mind, let's try in our Python. Okay? So what we need to do? We need to do, still using cursor, execute. Within the parentheses, I need to have 3 quotes. right? And then let's say simple SQL statement. Select star from student. Student to singular, right? Yeah. And I need to receive this by stud variable. So stud is nothing but cursor. Oh, wait a minute. I don't need to do that here, right? I don't need to do that. We simply execute it. And then cursor dot fetch all function. Then I need to have the variable stud. Stud is nothing but a table, right? STUD points to all the fetched, all the records that can be fetched from the result of that SQL statements, which is entire table, right? So do that. Then I want to print, for example, for one student in student table, I want to do print, let's say S0, and then tab S1, and then another tab, comma, finally S2. I do not know how many columns that we have. I think we have 3 columns, right? ID, name, and major. And enter, and enter. So that I have all those 13 students. First column from S0, and then tab. I have tab here, and then second column, all the names, and then another tab, and I have third columns, right? You can massage this the way that any way that you want to do. For example, you can do like a vertical bar. Then you have more nice formats. Oops, do that. And here, vertical bar and vertical bar. And then you have this. A little more different ways that you could do, right? Again, if you want to do real, for example, select a star from student where major equals CS. In this case, you need to have a double quote CS. In that way, that is not confused with single quotes. All right? And then CS, we can call it CS student. CS student equals cursor dot fetch all. And then we can still use that for loop. So CS stud and then that, then it gives you only the list of CS students. All right, this is a simple the execution of the table retrieval. All right, see you later.